What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the fourth album by rapper Snoop Dogg. Basically, this product is called No Limit Top Dog, and it came out in the spring of 1999. So the name of this product here is this might have been like, it was either this album or the one after that was the last album with Snoop Dogg on the No Limit label as far as this pitch can happen. Now I want to say the last meal, I don't remember what label. I think the last meal might have been on No Limit as well, but it's within pitches as far as saying the format of it. Particularly Snoop Dogg did at least three albums with No Limit as far as what's supposed to happen. This is one of which. So just within the pitch as far as saying the particular appeal about it, this is kind of a quiet album for Snoop Dogg. It's not as commonplace kind of talked about within the formats of it. This is an album I've owned for a number of years within those pitches. I've listened to a number of songs off this one. I go back with a few songs off this album like Bitch Please and Just Dippin' and Down for My Niggas and Buck 'em, some of those type pitches within the format of it as far as what's going to happen. So I just look within the format as far as saying, but yeah, this is the haphazard type album. It's not haphazard in terms of the quality or the score I'm going to give it, but it's just the pitch as far as saying, like when you think of more heralded type albums by Snoop Dogg, it's kind of a pitch that this one's not as commonplace. But I look within the format, the more I think about it in more recent times, it's kind of the factoid that a lot of times Snoop Dogg is kind of pigeonholed out of the spotlight of whether or not just what albums by him are classics within the pitch behind. I mean, I think most people will agree Doggy Style from '93 is a classic, but just because of the fact, I don't know, there's just kind of that particular format as far as saying when you think of like the aspect of saying that the Dog Father from '96 just did not hit as heavily, but that actually does have some gems on there. There's one, like the particular song Snoop's Upside Your Head hits pretty heavily. That's a real good jam as far as this pitch happens. It's just the pitch as far as saying I think Dog Father is probably better than what the particular fair about it is. At least the reception that it's kind of gotten. So I'm gonna have to review that one and see what I think about it. But this album, No Limit Top Dog's gonna get a 10 out of 10. There's a number of other Snoop Dogg products I've given pretty high scores as well. Now I question if I would give The Last Meal a high score, but I definitely think Malice in Wonderland is a real vicious type album. More of Malice is pretty good. And RNG from 2004 is an excellent blistering type one. Ego Trippin' definitely has a number of gems on there. It's kind of eccentric, but has some good gems on there. And like just to be able to say like The Last Meal, like I was saying, has good singles off it. So it just has the good appeal songs like the song he did with Badass, which I forget what that song is called, like Wrong Idea, and then Lay Low, and then Hennessy and Buddha. Some of those have ones within some of those type pitches, and then the What's My Name Part 2 with the Timbaland production. So that The Last Meal has a lot of Dynamite productions, but this particular one has some good things going for it. Has some good DJ Quick beats on here. Has a series of great Dr. Dre beats on here. It's just a refreshing type aspect considering the fact that Dr. Dre had not produced for Snoop Dogg probably since Doggy Style as far as was first going to go. Now there might be a case that he produced for like the '98 album, but he was not. Dr. Dre was not on the Dogfather, so it's just kind of the pitch that this is a refreshing aspect to get those folks paired up again within the formats of it. So it has some good bundle type aspects, and this is a bulky type album, and it nails the appeal behind it as far as those pitches kind of go. So just the aspect as far as saying in terms of the 19 songs in this album, there's 21 songs in here, but minus the two skits, it narrows it down to 19. Out of the 19, I wound up recommending 16 and a half. So it's just within the pitch as far as saying it's really only there's really only just two that I don't recommend full bound as far as this pitch can go. So this definitely has the appeal, but it's just kind of an offhanded type album. I just look within the pitch as far as saying the singles are not within the banner type sense of something like a staple or an anchor. Like when you think of, and I think that's probably the reason why this album seemingly didn't do as well as it did. It pretty much went double platinum as of 2016, but it's just within the pitch as far as saying it just doesn't have, like I feel like Bitch Please is kind of a ravenous type title to have the aspect as far as being commercial to like casual type market, something you'd catch on the radio, like when you think of Gin and Juice or What's My Name, some of those type pitches, or Drop It Like It's Hot, some of those type appeals. But this particular album is just kind of offhanded. I just look within the tone. It has the gems on here, but it's just not. It just kind of comes at things from like a lateral angle as far as those phrases kind of happen. I just look with the aspect as far as saying that the quality is definitely on here, but it's just kind of the pitch that this feels a lot more seldom within the commonplace of talking about it. And that's what I was trying to say within the aspect as far as trying to designate like particular albums by Snoop Dogg that'd probably be within the immediate fashion. I think enough folks probably thoroughly enjoy like RNG and the albums that he did with Pharrell, like the Blue Carpet Treatment, and then like the 2002 album, I forget what that one's called, Paid the Cost to Be the Boss, some of those type pitches, but it's just within form as far as saying that the No Limit Snoop Dogg was not. I don't know the 1998 album is full bound, but this particular album is very underrated, I'd say, within the aspects as far as this first album. So it's just within pitch as far as saying it's just an uncommon kind of gem within pitch. Definitely has the Dynamite on here. It just is definitely one looking into for folks that have fucked with Snoop Dogg, but just kind of question what some of his best time moments would be out of the 90s apart from that. But it's just kind of the appeal. This is probably in the top half of Snoop Dogg's best albums, I'd say. In terms of a lot of the stuff that he's done, is the more vicious type one in terms of some of those aspects. In terms of that, on top of that, Snoop Dogg brings back a lot of haunting type vibes. It brings off two particular vibes that are interesting on here, because I do like this a gas kind of format. It's not full bound kind of horrorcore, but it does have traces of like Murder Was the Case Snoop Dogg from the Murder Was the Case soundtrack, and then the Bones Snoop Dogg that he would do a couple years later with the Bones movie that came out in the fall of 2001. So it's just kind of a pitch that this is like early type primers for some of that type format. It just has a real ghastly and kind of shrill type format. There's a real dope song dedicated to Snoop Dogg's mother on here that has a real ghostly type appeal. It's just kind of the concept that Snoop Dogg is just kind of a format there's a little bit of a looming type feel to Snoop Dogg on this product, and just the aspect of just a lot more haunt and just not every single song is within that depiction, but there's a good trace of like if you thoroughly miss like the Snoop Dogg from the Murder Was the Case days back when he was shrill and just kind of somewhat of like a dark figure with an aspect to like 1993, 94. It has some of that aspects on here with an aspect of the tone, so it's just good type of appeals. But really, this album was not a huge kind of dynamite success in terms of like the chart appeal that it particularly kind of had, but I still would say like I'm gonna check and see what G Bedtime Stories. G Bedtime Stories is an excellent song on here, but it didn't chart, so it's just on the pitch as far as saying. But this is a nice one. It's like a dreary kind of G Funk, late fashion kind of get within aspects here. Just some red eyes, kind of midnight snacks, kind of have within those tones. Just local strolls that I'd say within the aspect. There are some good strolling type songs within the pitch as far as those formats can go. So if you like the house party kind of red cup type sleaze, like songs like Gin and Juice and What's My Name, some of those type formats that just crease and khakis type music with some Chuck Taylor, some of those type formats that just like typical kind of sunglasses and Oakleys within the formats of it. Good swisher in ears, some of those type formats, and zigzags, just kind of the format having a lot of that particular fare on here. Just some good Cali sunshine within the neighborhood type sense, just a good aspect kind of have for some of those type moments. It's just a good late shift kind of fare just within like some demon time of just picking up like a burrito or something like that, frozen burritos and like a good combos, goodies, some of those type formats when going to like gas station type fare within the tone behind. So it's a good type aspect. Bitch Please is a nice second single, and this has Nate Dogg and Exhibit on there, which is a pretty good pitch. Obviously, if you know enough about like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg kind of lore, some of those type pitches, you'll know that Eminem made a Bitch Please 2 off of the Marshall Mathers LP, so this is the first one of that. When you think, if you wonder about Bitch Please 2 and you say, well, Eminem, did he do Bitch Please 1? It was Snoop Dogg that did Bitch Please 1. It's definitely pretty blissing type of feel. It's the Dr. Dre production, excellent for that aspect. It's like a vintage kind of late 90s Snoop Dogg staple to kind of get within these aspects here. Just a gangsta party. I would definitely feel within the aspect of a gangsta party kind of loud pack, and it's just a great song to get hella torch to. This real dynamite type one. This is a real just kind of G-funk this mess as far as it's like a real good G-funk kind of haywire type mess to kind of get to within those formats. Easy kind of turn up fashion, grandiose kind of blitzer, and a signature kind of Snoop Dogg song as far as those aspects can happen. So just because of qualities of songs like this, some of these type of songs like the Dr. Dre productions on here are really banner within the pitch. This is a good example like of Dr. Dre in his prime just pitches that these are just like some extra treats to have kind of gotten. This consistently continues the aspect that Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre make a vicious kind of combination within those pitches. Just kind of the format as far as saying that this, for folks that possibly don't know is full bound about this, is kind of the pitch that you do get a minor taste. Like this album is not full bound produced by Dr. Dre, but it's just the pitch that some of these moments, every single production that he does on here is pretty blitzing within aspects. So it's just a minor taste of like a 1999 version of like the G-Funk of like Doggy Style from 93. So it's just kind of the pitch. I mean, it's more in like Chronic 2001 type territory more so than Chronic 92 and Doggy Style type territory, but still some blitzing type appeal. Bitch Plays just like a real good red cup kind of get turned up a bit and just have some good times. It's like the things start to kick off. And then in a more No Limit and Southern hip hop type fashion, as that's the label that Snoop Dogg was signed to at the time, is Down for My Ends or Down for My Niggas. This is a good type one. It's like a good energized kind of No Limit banger to kind of get just some Southern kind of Tupac type ride out type noise in the pitch, real wired up within the aspects. So it's just the format. It's just the format as far as saying getting Snoop Dogg on some of those type No Limit type ones within the pitch is it's kind of interesting within the format. Snoop Dogg adapted that style pretty well within the pitch behind it. It's just kind of within the commonplace. You're going to find some No Limit folks on here. It's not overtly within the pitch. It's kind of about the same sort of fashion like the way Dr. Dre's kind of on here. Like this is a primary kind of West Coast album. It's not like Snoop Dogg went Southern within those pitches, but there are a couple of moments that do have like some of that Master P type of feel. It's too bad that Master P wasn't on this album, but Mystical is on here and he's pretty crazy on the song he's on. C Murder's on here a couple times. Silk the Shocker's on here. It's a good type pitch for some of those type fares. So this is mostly a West Coast album, but does have like the occasional Southern banger within some of those type formats. Just vintage of Master P, so it's a good type aspect. Yeah, the only two songs I don't recommend off this album would just be My Heat Goes Boom and then Doing Too Much. So Doing Too Much is just the pedestrian type one, just kind of a more lackadaisical type format, just kind of routine kind of stroll around within the pitch, just kind of just affable kind of neighborhood type activity, but just didn't have as much full bound appeal with that. And then like My Heat Goes Boom is just kind of like some harrowing typeness within the product of just more neighborhood John's pitches like that. It's kind of a 3-6 Mafia type fashion, something within that relative aspect, just kind of in a calmer touch sense, but just didn't nail the appeal. It's full bound with it. Just kind of felt like a more kind of snaring type one, but just didn't nail the appeal like the snarl that it probably needed to. That's the tones. There's a number of these, so immediate one to go for if you're appreciating like the Dr. Dre sound out this particular fair would definitely be Buckham. This has Sticky Fingers on there as well as the real dynamite type one with the pitch. Sticky Fingers is pretty crazy on the chorus of this particular song. It's an overall banger. It's like an underappreciated kind of. This Buckham is like an underappreciated kind of Dre beat and highlight to kind of get within the aspect of it. Just late 90s kind of Snoop, I'd say, within the aspect here. Just some glazed kind of forlorn moves as far as this first half. So it just has like that shrill type fashion, but it's interesting kind of get Dr. Dre in that particular fashion because he wasn't doing as much haunting type stuff, kind of getting him in like a neighboring community of like the Murder Was the Case Snoop Dogg. I guess he did do it with Murder Was the Case, but just the pitch of just getting something a little bit more aghast. This one just hits a little bit heavier than normal within the pitch of like the personable type vibes that Buckham kind of gives. So it's just kind of a chilling type one, but I like the tone behind it. There's some good lady songs out this album, like Something About Your Business. This features Raphael. This features Raphael Sadiq off the hook as far as this pitch. He helps out with extra vocals. It's like a super glazed kind of Sunday evening peering to kind of get within the aspects here. Just some easy kind of soft speak in favor as far as this pitch comes. So just the after effect of like retiring, like a more Cali Sunshine type sense. It's kind of format a little bit more sunshine within the aspect, with just kind of a pitch of just like smoke. This kind of Spotify type music for like the after hours type moments, but just without the pitch, like the actual format of something ripped out of 2016. Just not with all like the speakers bumping pitches like that, but just kind of more kind of just candlelit kind of pink skies kind of glazed within the aspects as far as those tones kind of happen. Just a little bit more this more smooth factor as far as those tones will kind of happen. This real nice one, just the aspect of kind of getting like an R&B flavor, kind of Snoop Dogg type tune within the pitch. Raphael Sadiq works on this particular song. Another one within that relative type fashion is within that pretty good 1-2 punch within the combo of it would be Don't Tell. This has Warren G on here, which is a good look to get him on this particular song. It has Nate Dogg on here as well. So it's a good type tone for that. It's like a woozy kind of pink skies breezing kind of get with an aspect. Just pretty lambent and just overall glossy kind of cruise around within some type aspect. Just simple kind of speed around, simple kind of 20 mile, 40 mile per hour just cruise rounds within those pitches. Just simple kind of slow riding, just like a classic DPG kind of team up. It's like a classic kind of DPG team up, I'd have to say here. Just a grand relief, I'd definitely say about this song here. Just kind of an aspect of like a lengthy day and just the aspect of just being done with things and just the sigh of just like, yep, fuck yeah, shit yeah, just kind of the concept of just having some things being done as far as those pitches can happen. Just smoke up real nice and just have some game to kind of speak as far as Bell is nearby as far as those pairs can happen. So just pitch as far as getting towards it, just good aspect for that particular tone. Just easy kind of pink skies, just sublimeness as far as this pairs can happen. Ghetto Symphony is a quality one. Now this is the almost song off this album. This is a good type one within a pitch, but I feel like the production fair of this just kind of has like a more just kind of purposely abrasive type production where it has like this odd kind of piano beat on here, but it just is kind of the format of having like a real kind of loud and just it kind of has like a loud and kind of jarring type aspect as to how it particularly goes along with it, especially in the Mystical verse as far as those pairs. Now with Mystical, he particularly nails it just with his usual kind of pop off and just powder cake type personality. Was just the pitch of this particular, the production fair is just not as choice like the format. That's kind of why it's getting an almost song, but it is a nice song within the pitch, mainly for Mystical, but some of these other folks do pretty good on here as well. It's this kind of pitch, this kind of more homely type fashion, just in a more kind of southern fried type sense, but just did not hit as heavily as it probably needed. Like a slinky and kind of hella spicy kind of No Limit banger to kind of get. Mystical definitely shreds this song. It's just good for like a typical day. So this feels more like this definitely feels more of something that Masterpiece, some of those type folks, Silk the Shocker, folks like that would have done in like 98, 99, some of those type formats. Just kind of like typical kind of Monday type music, some of those type fairs, just an aspect of this like a more kind of 3 o'clock p.m. just extra time, some of those type formats, just kind of awkward moments or just spare moments as far as just the pitch of figuring out what to do, just kind of just twiddle your thumbs, figure out the extra kind of moments, not so much awkward in the sense of just not having anything to do, but this kind of pitch of just spare moments that just kind of feel extra, but it's still in a good sense. This kind of fashion, the production is just not as affable. I Love My Mom is a nice one on here as far as these pitches can happen. It's like a slurred in a gas. I Love My Mom is like a slurred in a gas kind of tune to kind of get. It definitely reminds of like Bones, Snoop Dogg, and Murder Was the Case Snoop as far as this pitch can happen. It's very shrill type one. Snoop Dogg kind of aims for like a haunting kind of last words type sense. It's the last song you hear off this album as far as this pitch can happen. really works within the appeal. This reminds us of like something that Tupac and DMX would kind of do within some of those type fashions, that having like that dramatic kind of sense. Snoop Dogg definitely pulls off the appeal behind it. Definitely a pretty good banger to kind of get. Normally, when I think of songs that are designated to mothers within some of those type pitches, usually they're a lot more. It's kind of within like a more kind of sugary, kind of saccharine, kind of heartache type sense. Not to say heartache in terms of a bad way, but it just is usually not as catchy. But this is a real apple type one. Usually when you think of mother songs, they just don't have that particular energy. But this is like Murder Was the Case, Snoop Dogg making a song about his mother as far as what's first going to happen, which is definitely a pretty good charm aspect as far as what's kind of goes. So definitely a blitzing type one. Bustin' Rocks is quality as well as like a warped and trippy kind of DJ quick beat to kind of get here. Just a usual Cali day, I'd had to say within the pitch. Just figure out some happenings as far as what happens with it, and just kind of have some goes as far as this pitch can go with it. So just kind of the aspect of just like neighborhood kind of get around as far as this pitch can happen. Just picking up like some Taco Bell, some of those type pitches within the format of it. Just figuring things out as far as this pitch kind of go. Checking your cell phone, extra moments like that. Reading like the newspaper briefly, some of those type formats within the tone. Just extra time once again, but this one just has a little bit more hitting aspect in terms of the quality of it. Good nice one on here would be Snoop-a-Fellas, like a funkadelic kind of 70s like sunny town romp to kind of get within the aspect here. Just a jazzier kind of What's My Name. This is like What's My Name Part 1 or Part 2, some of those type pitches. Both those type formats of like Snoop Dogg just on some of that What's My Name type vibes within the pitch, just kind of in like a drugstore run type format. So it's just the pitch as far as saying picking up like a Playboy or XXL magazine, some of those type formats, just getting like a particular kind of swisher or two, some of those type formats, getting like a Dr. Pepper, some of those particular type fares, just amidst like drugstore type fare back in like late 90s, 2000s type fashion, but just kind of more stroll type fashion. So it's like I was saying, this album's pretty stroll centric within the tone, just more hop and bop kind of around the neighborhood type commerce within the pitch, but definitely has some good type appeals for it. Combining that with like the haunting type aspects of a lot of this on here. I don't think I've talked about Just Dippin', but this particular song, Just Dippin', has Dr. Dre on there, so it's a good excellent pitch. This is produced by Dr. Dre. It's like a slagged and dredgy kind of typical late day commerce kind of get within the aspects here. Just vintage songs like Vintage Dre and Snoop as far as those pitch can have, and just an overall lit type one. So it's just the fashion as far as saying. It's kind of more Tuesday, Wednesday kind of errand runs within some of those type formats, just getting particular tasks done. Just the aspect of just kind of stuck and just like the aspect. It's kind of stuck in like the typical kind of day get up within the format of it, just getting gas in the car, some of those type pitches, getting some bills based on that particular format, picking up a newspaper, just the particular aspect of just having like the go-arounds. But it's a good aspect to kind of get this particular song, because this is not a commonplace song that Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre kind of do. Once again, this is kind of some extra time within the formats as far as just spare moments that are not necessarily at like the dance club getting smashed, or like a particular kind of thumping kind of ladies dance type song or something like that, or a car cruise around some of those type pitches. Just kind of the format of just spare time moments of just not just kind of in transit, just kind of the product of just being productive and roping up some deeds that need to be taken care of within the pitch as far as those formats going to go. Good type fare of like a class, just another classic Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre team up, I'd have to say. Another good cruise around type song off this album would be Trust Me. This has Sugar Free on here, who's usually on these pimp type songs, and then Silky Fine, which is interesting chica as far as those pitch can happen. Haven't heard of her, but it's just good type fare. Trust Me is like a butter smooth kind of weekday dredge kind of get, just some unwinding but promptly as far as doing it within those aspects just within the pitch. So it's just, it has that flip, has like that relative flip mode, but it's just within the product of just not being so taken aback. So it's kind of within the pitch behind it. Good music for Burger King pitches like that. Good song to holla and pitches like that and ride as far as those pitches kind of go. So it's the format just like on the go, some of those type fares. So Trust Me is just some more on the go type fashion. It's pretty similar to Just Dippin', but just less errands in mind and just more bells in mind within some of those type pitches, just in the format. Good type tone. In Love with the Thug is a quality one as well within these pitches. Definitely excellent fares, like a Doomed and kind of forlorn, kind of strut around within some of those type formats of it. This reminds of like Bones, Snoop Dogg, I'd have to say, and this just has some brushes about it. This feels like more autumn type fare, more late September, October type pitches within the format of it. So just within the neighborhood aspect of it, just kind of Murder Was the Case and Gin and Juice type Snoop Dogg within the Red Cup type format, but just more in a Bones type sense from 2001. Just a primer to that particular sound that he was getting ready to do a couple years later. So it's just the pitch of like probably some inspo for that particular. In Love with the Thug's like some good haunting type primer to get within like that horrorcore kind of Snoop Dogg as far as those first can have. So it's a good type pitch to get towards that particular tone of it. It's further type aspects of some of that quality. Some other ones on here, like Gangsta Ride is a nice one as well. This has some good bounce about it. It's like a jazzy kind of souped up Jeep. Gangsta Ride is like a jazzy kind of souped up Jeep. Gangsta gangsterized, like a jazzy kind of souped up G-funk, I'd have to say, within the pitch of it. Just vintage kind of Snoop, just some red eyes kind of bounce, I'd feel like here, just a good aspect of being stoned as hell pitches like that, but just having the good thump of like some vehicle knocks and good kind of low rider and just hydraulics type music within the format of it. Good Cali evenings within the pitch as far as those pros can go. So just the aspect here, good nice thump to kind of have for like the fashion, like some just pizzazz with it, just good social aspects within the tone. Probably works for like some house party type function as well, but just the pitch as far as saying just the pizzazz, like some factors, just like some Friday type fare. Another one within those pitches would be 20 minutes, like a dark kind of G-funk. 20 minutes, like a dark kind of G-funk thump to kind of get within the aspects here. Just a house party shredder, I would definitely have to say, jumps hella hard, I'd say, within the aspect of it. Just some souped up kind of 90. It's like some souped up kind of 93 Snoop Dogg as far as those fares going to happen. Yeah, 20 minutes is just like some dark kind of G-funk thump, definitely within pitch behind. Just some house party kind of noise. If you like gin and juice kind of Snoop Dogg, but just one with a little bit more Bones type S-typeness within the tone behind, a little bit more horrorcore tinge within the aspect. Just has the aspect of that particular fare. It's easy kind of, it's just basically 93 Snoop Dogg on steroids as far as this pitch can happen. And as a bonus, it brings Goldie Loke along for the ride, who's part of the East Siders, so it's good type pitches for that. Good, excellent type fare. Then Party with the DPG is the definite highlight to kind of get. It's like a spacey kind of head trip, I'd have to say here. Just some neighborhood kind of feeling rattled within the aspect of it. And by feeling rattled, I mean the pitch of just having some smoke in your systems and gin and juice, some of those type formats. Good hop and bop, I'd have to say, and a good day stroll within those tones as far as those pitch kind of goes. So just the aspect as far as saying, basically getting towards like the product, like some social type fare, just the product, just like neighborhood kind of go arounds, just the socialized, just the aspect of just like Tibble type fashion, and just being in commotion of it within the pitch, just whether it is just neighborhood struts or like a couple of house party and block parties within the pitch behind it, but it's just to miss like that conduct of it, this very festive with an aspect, this neighborhood folks are out and pitches like that, some good socialized going. Then I'd say the last one I don't think I talked about on here would be Better Days, like a city kind of hop and bop to kind of get just a typical kind of day breeze, I'd say here, just some outing rumination, I feel like with an aspect of it, kind of another ghostly type one, pretty similar to I Love My Mom and some of those type pitches. And particularly songs like, there's another one on here like In Love with the Thug, some of those type pitches within the format of it. And this is like a good smoke one, definite aspect for some of those type tones, just kind of on the go pitches like that, just out and about, just getting some errands done within some of those type formats. So just the pitch as far as saying, it's kind of a lot of strolling and strut arounds within the aspects, some good type fares just within the fashion of it. I do like this particular fare, just pretty much. It's a lot of good active jive within the pitch about this particular album, between the cruise around type moments, the Bones type moments within the G-funk type style, and like a darker type sense that just has that shrill fast and just like some haunting kind of food for thought, and some extra time type moments as well that has some spare type aspects within the tone behind it. It's kind of some rumination within those aspects, and then like some good moments for like some G-funk with Dr. Dre, and then some pitches of like some neighborhood struts and pitches like that. So that's the format as far as those fares can go. So I think I talked about all the songs on here. So this album within the pitch of me saying that basically 16 and a half out of 19 on here says 2.5 I didn't recommend. So yeah, this album gets a 10 out of 10 within the pitch as far as saying just the aspect of that particular tone is bulked up Snoop Dogg, and it hits the nail in the head as far as the quality of it within the pitch behind it. Just would have to say the format is just, there's really only 2 full bound songs I don't recommend within the fashion. And just to say on top of that, this is a recommended album as far as this first gonna happen. Rushan had recommended this to me, so I wanted to get towards this particular one to see what it's about. I have fucked with this album for a good while as far as this pitch can happen, but I did not listen to the whole thing within the fashion behind it. I more handpicked a lot of these songs, but it's just within the form as far as saying it's excellent to know this is a particular classic as far as this first can happen. So definitely feels good to get more Snoop Dogg going within the pitch. So the social score I'll look within the aspect. Now I would say within the fashion of it, the quality is definitely on here, so I would say the social score would get a 10 out of 10, just all the social vibes, the house party moments, the cruise arounds, the Pink Skies typeness, the Dr. Dre kind of G-funk type moments, the Dr. Dre type moments that hit pretty heavily, the G-funk kind of bounce, some of these Bones type moments, some of these type fashions, the house party and red cup type sleeves, some of those type aspects. This really has the aspect on here, but it just does not have a casual kind of commercial smash. I'd probably say the biggest song off this album would be Bitch Please, one within those type formats, but it's just kind of the pitch as far as saying that it just does not particularly have like something that's like as huge as Snoop Dogg was in 93, 94, some of those type formats, or 2004 with Pharrell, some of those type pitches. It's just the form. I'll probably give the social score like a 9.75, but it's definitely not because of the quality. It's just because of the pitch that it just doesn't have something within the affable kind of spark that it probably needs within the pitch. But that's the only thing. So in terms of the future, like Snoop Dogg has dropped an album recently. I think he dropped an album as of May of 2025. There's some pitch that recently kind of happened. It's just the pitch behind it. He did purchase like Death Row, so I think he's the owner of that label that he started off on back in 91, 92, 93, so it's excellent type pitch to kind of get that. I do have some other Snoop Dogg projects on the way as far as those pitches can happen, so I would stay tuned for a lot of these, just when the pitch as far as those 4 months going to go. But this is a classic here, just be able to say underappreciated, definitely within a sense. It's kind of an unsung type album, but definitely has some dynamite on here, and a disc probably needs far more recognition. Probably needs like far more recognition than it particularly kind of got.